Hey guys, is anyone in here yet? Just wait for a few people to start rolling in. Hey guys, it's Naeemah LaFond. I'm Amika's Global Artistic Director, and I'm also a salon-centric It Takes a Pro team member. So welcome to something that we're calling Live in Your Living Room. So right now I'm in my living room coming to you live. We're going to try to do this weekly where we're going to be bringing you lives that cover everything from career to lifestyle and just anything fun. We really just want to be here for you guys and provide some positivity and support and just really just overall great conversation, okay? So today I'm going to be going over some like tips and tricks on using like extensions and wigs, specifically like at home and what you can do at home with them to take up some time, to keep yourself busy. Right now I have my synthetic wig over here. It is on a blockhead and I just pinned it down using my wig pins. I don't know if you guys know these. If you're familiar with like working with wigs, you know about them, but they're just these T-pins. They're like push pins, and you just use them to secure the wigs or the hair pieces onto the blockhead, so obviously it doesn't like slide off, and you can work with them like that. I don't know if you've seen my work, but I do work a lot of times with like extensions and wigs and synthetic ones as well as human hair ones, just like all kinds of different hair to create, whether it's like a bridal look or an editorial look or just something for social media content, just knowing like what works for what and also kind of how to transform them. So today, this one is a synthetic wig that I'm using. I actually made this one myself. I'm gonna pick it up so you can see like how big and full it is. So I did this one using a wig that was pretty thin, and then I went in and I purchased hair, just like regular extensions on a weft, and I sewed those hair extensions into that wig just to make it like a fuller wig. Because a lot of the times you'll find full wigs on the internet that you can buy, obviously, but it'll be like an arm and a leg, so expensive. And if you're using it just for like photo shoots and things like that, you definitely don't want to spend like tons of money. So it's really good to kind of learn how to make your own and work with what you have. So we're gonna do that, okay? Let's see. So in terms of working with synthetic wigs, a lot of people, when I work with wigs, they say like, how did you make the hair look so like real and natural? And really the tip and trick to that is like airing the hair out. So let's say you get a wig like this, and it's a synthetic wig. Let's say you bought it for like $10, $15 and you want to make it look more natural. When you go to the store, you'll take the wig out of the box, or you order it online, take the wig out of the box. It's going to be like so super shiny, not very natural looking, and you need to make it look natural. So what you would do is you need to immediately take it out of the box, take it out of any packaging that it's in, and just let it air out. If you want to speed up that process, you can use a blow dryer. So I would hold the wig up, push some cold air into like the inside of the wig, just cold air shots all throughout it. And I would go for about maybe like 5 minutes with that cold air. You'll see that kind of oxidizing the wig is really going to wake it up and make it look more natural. So if you go to like any wig stores or extension stores, you tend to see that the wigs and extensions that are on the mannequin heads, that are on the floor, look better than what you have in the box. And the reason for that is because they had a chance to oxidize. So the first thing you want to do, if you buy some extensions, some wigs online that are pretty cheap, the first thing you want to do is oxidize them so you can make them look more natural. All right. You can also work with wefted hair. Okay. If you're using wefted hair at home to do any like practice braiding, sometimes it'll come with like a cardboard piece in it like this. Sometimes it'll come with like a rubber band inside of it. I usually just like to leave that there because I feel like it just makes the hair just last longer than me undoing it, taking out, unraveling it, and the hair starting to get tangled and knotted because it is synthetic hair, so it's not gonna last that long. So just keeping that in mind, where it's not gonna go on someone's head if you're gonna just be practicing on a mannequin. So it's good to just leave it on the cardboard that it's on. And you could even just go in, and let's say we were wanting to practice braiding on this wefted hair. I would just take it and just pin the cardboard itself onto my blockhead here. I'm not really seeing you guys' comments, if there are any. Let me see. Well, I'll just keep going. So yeah, there's that. So I wanted to show you guys some like braiding techniques. So the braiding technique that I wanted to go into today is doing a cobra braid. I feel like a cobra braid, like learning how to do a cobra braid, it really kind of like helps you take your mind off things and helps you zone into something because it's kind of complicated and intricate. So it's a really good braid to do if you're like sitting at home. So I'm going to just show you how I do a cobra braid, all right? So first we're going to go in and we want to detangle. So let me spin my mannequin head around. We'll just pin this off to the side here, okay? And I'm just going to brush through and detangle. And you can see like how thick this wig is. Like literally it's just like a small piece from the back of her head. And it's like such a thick ponytail. But like I said, I sewed the hair in it. So I'm like home doing, hair and tutorials and lives. And I'm just really just working with whatever I have to just make it work, All right, so let's get started on our braid. Right, so for a cobra braid, you want to have 3 sections. And as you guys are like zooming into the braid, please don't mind my quarantine nails. They're short and not done, but you guys get it. We're gonna separate into 3. So 2 sections on each side, 1 section on each side, and 1 section down the center. So what I'm doing is I'm feeling for the density of the sections. This side section's pretty dense. This one's pretty dense. You want these 2 side sections to be equal in density, okay? All right, so we're gonna go here. And you guys keep in mind that after this live, I'm gonna be on the Salon Centric Instagram live as well, right after, to answer like any questions so we can chat, okay? So we're gonna take these 3 sections. So you're holding it like this, so palms up. For this braid, you don't want to work palms down. You wanna work palms up, just like this. And you wanna find a way to maneuver all 3 of the sections in your hand at the same time. So whether it's when I'm holding it with 1 hand or when I'm holding it with 2, we should always have all 3 sections in our hands at the same time, okay? So now we're gonna go in, and I'm gonna start going in from the back. I'm gonna take a small piece from the back of the right section. I'm gonna bring it forward, take it under the middle, and I'm gonna combine it with the left, okay? Let's do that again, because I know oftentimes when I'm teaching a braid, like the first go round can be a little confusing. Like getting a braid started all together is like the most important part, because if you can't get it started, you don't really, you could know the pattern all you want, but if you can't get it started, then it's just going to be really hard to learn. So I really want to make sure you guys see the starting point. Again, it's 3 sections. Small piece from the back. You can just do a small piece from the back of the right or the left. It just needs to be the back of one of these side sections. You're going to bring it forward, under the middle. So literally, you see how I took this section with my fingers and I'm carrying it under the middle. I'm going to bring this a little bit more forward. You guys can see, there we go. And marrying it to the left. Okay? Now I'm going to, you see when I married it to left, I just added it to this left section and just combined it. It's no longer a separate piece. Now I'm going to go on the inner front corner of this left section. So I'm taking that traveling piece and also a piece of new hair. I'm going to swing it over to the back, grab it there. Okay, now it's going to go under the back, over the middle, combined with the right. Okay, so now we have all 3 sections again in our hands. What you want to make sure to do as you're braiding is making sure that you keep your fingers like under these sections here, like right, kind of keeping the sections separate and not letting these pieces, these strands sag. See how they're sagging right now? If I kept my hands so low the entire time, these sections would be too separated and you won't see the pattern. So we want to bring it up nice and high. Now again, we're going to go with the back of the right and bringing it over to the front, under the middle. And you see I'm always going with the other hand to help carry that new section to where it needs to go. Marry to the left. And always making sure that we keep our fingers right under. I'm going to try to bring this a little bit closer. Okay. Again, front of the left. Swing it towards the back. Over the middle. Marry to the right. Again, you see every time I'm always making sure that my fingers are right there and keeping those strands up so that we can see the pattern as we go. Again, back of the right. So when I say back of the right, what am I grabbing? I'm always grabbing some of the traveling section and a piece of new hair, okay? It doesn't have to be the entire traveling section. It could just be some of it. It needs to be some of it so that the stitch can stay in. Bring it towards the front, under the middle, marry to the left. And again, every single time we're there, pushing our thumbs under just to make sure it stays. And as you do this braid, it is a braid that kind of takes a while to get the pattern down. Just like if you were doing a fishtail braid, like you could work on a fishtail braid for like half an hour and you'll still be like 30, you'll just still be like 30 minutes in and only having done like half the braid. All right. Again, to the back, bring it to the front, under the middle, marry to the left. The entire time, always making sure that your fingers are under these sections right here, because that's what'll keep that braid. Oop, you guys don't see that. That's what'll keep that braid together. It's hard because I'm not seeing your comments, but I see that there are people here, so I'm going to keep going. Again, small piece from the front, swing it back around. And the reason why you're going from the front and the reason why you're coming in from the back, the entire purpose of that is to get this wraparound effect that we're seeing here, that wraparound effect. If you if you're taking it from the inner corner, you see when you wrap it around, it's going to give you that wraparound effect. If you just took it from the front, when you wrap around, nothing happens, all right? So it's always making sure you either go in from like the deep front to get that wrap or the deep back, okay? Again, under, over, combine, okay? From the back here to the front, under, and combine. Right? We're seeing the pattern really come together as we go. Under, over, bring it to the back, over, combine. All right, I'm gonna do like a few passes just so you guys can, just try to make sure you guys can really get it. All right. And then we'll move on and I'll show you another braid. Swing it to the back, grab it with your fingers, under, over, combine. And again, every single time going in under these pieces here and making sure that the braid is not like sliding down like that. Because when it starts to do that, that's the time where I feel like my students usually feel like they're not doing the braid properly, and it's not that you're not doing it properly. It's just that it's not tight, so you don't see the pattern. But it's there. You just have to keep it high up. Okay? Over to the back. Combine. Again, grabbing from the inner front corner to the back. Over the middle. Combine. So with this braid, you're not grabbing from the middle at all. You're only grabbing from the side sections. The middle stays stationary. You never have to grab anything from it, okay? And then we can stop here. Oftentimes when I'm doing this braid, I like to do it like, you can do it as just a side ponytail where you can go all the way down and it can be worn as a side pony. Or you can do it as like an accent braid where you can do a half up, just at the back of the head, and just do like a few inches of it. When we do that, I love to just take the end of the hair here, the strand that is still hanging, and just go in and wrap it around. Okay? Go in and wrap it. And then secure. All right. So let's talk about how I like to secure. I love to just take a small hairpin, for this one specifically. I'll go into like the wrapped hair itself with the pin closed. Push it in, open it, and then kind of wiggle around. And then push down. Okay, one more. Take another pin. I'll do the same thing in the back. Okay, so there you have your cobra braid. Again, this is something that you can do all the way down. What usually happens with a cobra braid, if you do it like super long, it starts to like wind like a cobra. So the more you braid it, the more it kind of like turns and twists and winds. So don't think that you're doing it wrong. That's just how the braid naturally starts to fall when you continue with it, okay? So I'm gonna go on with one more braid for you guys. So what should we do? Actually, let's just take this one out because I feel like this side is easiest to see from. Just undo this. Take this one down. And again, you guys, if you have questions, I'm not seeing any questions or comments here, but I will be on the Salon Centric Instagram Live right after I'm done with this. And I'll be on there to chat with you guys and talk, answer any questions about like the hair that I'm doing, hair in general, career, fun, whatever. Okay, so don't forget to log into Salon Centric IG Live right after this for your questions to be answered. All right, so I'm going to undo this. Undo. All right. So now we're going to go and we're going to create just like a ponytail. All right. So I'm going to just take my rubber band here. And hopefully it doesn't pop. All right. And create a ponytail here. Okay, so we have our ponytail here that we're going to use this to create our braid. So the braid that I'm going to show you guys right now is called the chain link braid, right? So for this, you want to take your hand and you're going to place it under the hair to take your sections. So you're going to look at your hand and that'll tell you how many sections you need for this braid. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many sections of hair you need for this braid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So with these 4 sections, you want to feel for density. You want to make sure that each section is as dense and full as the next. So if you need to take from one section to bring over to the next, you can do that. Add hair. So I'm just going in and just feeling for these sections. Okay, I think this feels pretty good. So this braid is really good for a ponytail. So if your client has like a really long pony and she wants to do something cute with it, or even like if you're working on kids, it's great. I feel like if you're doing it on kids, it's nice to do it like nice and clean. For adults and for like a party look, you can do this braid and like fluff it out, pull it out, add some texture spray to it, and really kind of just make it look a bit more modern. So how we do this braid, you need to count your fingers. So you have the first section, second, third, and last. You're going to take this second section and the last section and bring it over to your other hand. So that's second section, last section. Okay? Let's look at that again. You're looking at your sections here. First, second, third, at last. Second section and last section. So we're taking the second section and the last section. We're bringing it over to the other hand and putting it in those same slots. Flip and land. Again, second section, last section, flip and land. Second section, last section, flip and land. Second section, last section, flip and land. Second, last, flip. That flip is what creates the kind of like chain link effect. So you definitely don't want to forget that step. Second section, you're going to put it in this hand between the thumb and the forefinger. The last section between the forefinger and the middle finger. The other two, you flip and land. Second, last, flip, land. Second, last, flip, land. And I'm just going to push this back because the braid is long so you can continue to see. Second, last, flip, land. Second, last, flip, land. Second, last, flip, land. And if the person has layers in their hair, by the time you get to the end here, there's going to be one section that's like super tiny, one is super full, one is medium. Once you get to a point where your shortest one can't go another round, then you should probably stop the braid, okay? So I'm at that point now. So I'll stop the braid here and just put a little rubber band on it. And again, with this braid, you can go in and fluff it out. I love to start at the top. Start at the top. And just, what you're doing is just taking your finger and just like pushing out. I'm just gonna use a little dry conditioner on it, just to add some softness. Some braids, you don't necessarily, you want the texture, but you don't necessarily want it to be like matte and gritty. You want like soft texture. So that's why I'm using the Amika Silk Nap, just for some soft texture. All right, and we're just pinching out. And you see like how the braid really just comes alive with that pinch out? Just pinching out. My daughter just woke up, so if a little munchkin walks into the screen, you know why. Pushing out. Pushing out, pushing out. And we're really seeing it. Hi, baby.
That's just so nice of you.
Come. And that's your braid here. This is my little munchkin. She just woke up from her nap. So thank you guys for watching. Again, it's Naeemah LaFond. I'm with the It Takes a Protein for Salon Centric. Again, we're going to be doing this weekly, live in your living room. Thanks for watching. You guys, if you want to chat with me, head over to Salon Centric Instagram Live right now. Okay? Bye.